Ungating is the biggest dragon to slay when selling on the Amazon marketplace today. Most beginners hit that wall and feel completely stuck, blocked from selling their favorite brands, unsure what documents they'll even need, and wondering if they'll ever even get approved. And unfortunately, in 2025, it's the #1 reason why most sellers quit or just don't succeed. But here's the truth. That dragon isn't unbeatable. There's a step-by-step system that I've been using to get ungated in any brand, and it's faster and easier than most beginners think. Today, I'm going to show you how to slay that dragon yourself, even if you're completely new to selling on Amazon FBA. I remember when I started selling on Amazon, I ran into a brick wall with the ungating process. I was stuck, frustrated, and confused. Rejections kept piling up, and I didn't know where to turn. But once I discovered the exact strategy that actually works, I've never had to look back. And now I want to pass that exact same blueprint onto you. I'm going to break this video up into 2 parts. First, I'm going to cover exactly what ungating is on Amazon. And second, the method that will never have you worrying about ungating again. Grab your notebook, stay focused, and follow along. It's time to slay the biggest dragon on Amazon, get ungated in any brand that you want, and finally start growing your business. Let's go. Let's jump right into it, okay? So section 1, what is ungating? And like I said, first we're gonna cover what ungating is, and then we're gonna dive into the best method for ungating so you never have to worry about it again. So ungating. Ungating equals getting approval from Amazon to sell products in restricted categories or brands. And yes, it's true. In the early days of Amazon, as you just start your selling account, you're gonna be ungated in more products because you have no sales volume, right? You haven't sold any products, so Amazon can't trust you as a seller just yet, right? But as you start to get $1,000 in sales, 2,000, 3,000, so on, they say, great, let's open up some categories. Go ahead, start selling, right? That's essentially what they do. Now, number 2, to protect customers, prevent counterfeits, and maintain trust with major brands. So they have to protect the integrity of the customer. Remember, everybody loves Amazon. Everybody buys from Amazon, 2-day shipping, very trustworthy, easy refunds, easy returns, anything like that. If they start getting authentic products half the time to the customers, the marketplace would die. $1 trillion company would die if it was the wild, wild west, right? So they have to have some restrictions and boundaries, and all they're asking for us, we get to play in their marketplace. We get to have all these sales, all this fun, all this money, do it completely remote, but we just have to do it trustworthy and authentic. And that way we have to build up a little bit of trust to make sure that they know that we're doing it right. So they have to protect against their customer, and counterfeits is a real thing with Amazon, right? So section 2, gated categories and brands. Common gated categories right off of the bat is grocery, beauty and personal care. Sometimes this is touch and go because sometimes there's products or brands within them that are automatically ungated. Specific health and household products, you can imagine, like OTC, right, over-the-counter medication. It's a bit dangerous. And then toys and games like Legos, right? I'm still gated to this day in Legos because I have no interest in selling it, but that's pretty much a guarantee right off the bat is being gated, okay? So brand restrictions. Big brands like Nike, Lego, and Apple are often gated regardless of the category. So for these, you have to apply to show them that you are authentic. You're buying from a trusted supplier, retailer. It's really hard nowadays to get ungated in Nike, Lego, and Apple unless you're using the tactic that I'll show you. But there's no point anyways because these are big brands that everybody's competing with. Who wants to go fishing in a pond where everybody is fishing? I'd rather go fishing in an ocean where nobody's fishing, right? You find a lot more success that way, and you get bigger whales, okay? So now, section 3, why ungating matters. So profit potential. So gated products are often higher demanded with stronger margins sometimes, okay? But the bigger thing about it is it lessens the competition. All of the people who are fishing in that pond who are automatically ungated on these products, they're not looking to sell products that are already gated because they're new sellers. They don't want to invest money into it. They don't want to invest risk into it, or they just don't know how to do it, right? So there's a little bit more of a potential because you don't have to compete on price tanking, listing tanking, seller count tanking, and so on. So there's a little bit of a profit potential, a little bit of a competitive advantage, as I said, right? Like I said, reduced competition. Fewer sellers have approval, right? Which means less saturation. So the sellers who have approval are the ones who are auto-ungated, meaning they've been doing it for a little bit, or they apply to get approval. And like I said, most beginners won't do that. And typically, the tankers of listings are the beginners. So if there's no beginners on the listing, we're in kind of a good shape, right? So it just lessens competition, lessens opportunities for other sellers to find our listings, right? Because we want to have less competition, more sales. That's the dream, right? Now, let's dive into the method that is going to absolutely change your life with Ungating. It's the one that I've been using, and it has changed many, many lives of sellers I know in the industry, and it has never failed me, okay? So here we are on an Amazon listing, right? This AC Delco spark plug product. And if you aren't familiar with Amazon listings, what here is on the right here, my cursor is, this is SellerAmp, a software that calculates profit and allows us to source. I have many videos on that. And here at the bottom is Keepa. It's basically a data software. It tells us the price, how many sales per month, and what other sellers are listing on or are selling this product, okay? So now, you can tell here on my Amazon listing, here on the right here with SellerAmp, it tells me right away, you are not eligible to sell this product, right? I have to get approved. I have to apply. Now, I already did some digging on this product, and they're requiring me 10 units to apply to get ungated, right? I have to supply my invoice to get ungated and show them that I am buying from an authentic supplier, a trusted supplier. So please allow me to sell this product because I am legitimate, right? That's exactly what I'm telling them. Now, I know what you might be thinking, right? Because some of you guys come across this. I am getting requests to do 100 units, 200 units, or 300 units. And that is crazy. That is madness. Now, the method I'm about to show you still consistently works for that. But if you're facing brands that you're gated and you have to buy 200 units of or 300 units of, I would run for the hills because personally me, right, especially when you're just starting off, you want to just sell products that you are auto-ungated in or that are requiring 10 units. Because why would you invest hundreds of dollars, even thousands of dollars, many, many thousands of dollars to just hope to get ungated to sell the brand? Now, when you create a big business out of it and you're scaling and you have a lot of leads that you're already selling and maybe you want to invest in an opportunity because you have a good opportunity, a good relationship, a good supplier, then it's okay, right? You want to try to bring that lead into your catalog. But doing that beforehand without doing it is crazy because you're investing a lot of money and to risk to get ungated. So like I said, like you see here, it says manually ungated. It shows me I'm restricted. So I have to go and try to apply to get ungated. Like I said, I did some digging. It's requiring me to get 10 units from an authentic supplier. And remember, when ungating, you have to get an invoice. It can't be a retail receipt or a pro forma. Some people say that, yeah, maybe I can get ungated from Walmart or Target. Maybe it's still working, okay? By luck, okay? But according to Amazon's rules and their compliance and their documents, it says you need an invoice from a proper distributor or supplier. And this method is the best for this reason. What better distributor out there than the marketplace itself? Okay, so remember the name of the brand. Watch this. AC Delco, right? Let's pop this into my Google search, right? That's all I'm gonna do is hit AC Delco to see all of the products here that are being sold here now by Amazon, okay? And what I'm going to do here, because remember, there's many, many independent third-party sellers on Amazon's listings. There's me, there's you, there's anybody, right? We're all selling these products here. Now, the key is to click here on the seller, right? This is the first step of things, right? You want to make sure that you're buying the product exactly from Amazon. Because like I said, there's no better supplier or trusted distributor than the supplier themselves, which is Amazon. So what we're doing here is we're buying from Amazon as the supplier or the distributor. We're buying our 10 units and we're supplying an invoice for our ungating to say, look, we bought from a trusted distributor, yourself, 10 units in the last 180 days. Here's my invoice. Approve of this. If you don't approve of it, I'll submit it 8 times and I'll highlight the brand name 10 times to make sure you see it, and eventually we get approved. And it's only taken me 1 or 2 times max using this method, okay? So the first thing you do is you type in Amazon, right? You have to select all the listings that are being sold by Amazon. And you might be thinking, who in the world is buying 10 units of a $568 product? That's $5,000. But don't worry, you don't have to do that. What you do here in the bar, in the chart here on the left, the price, you play around with it. You bring this price down to as cheap as it can go to find products to buy and sell on Amazon. Because all we have to do is buy 10 units, okay? All we have to do is buy 10 units. Even if we had to buy a few hundred units, right? We'd have to see if it's worth it or not to buy a few hundred units. But if I can find a cheap product, 10 units at $5 is $50. 10 units at 100 units at $5 is $500. It's terrible. I don't recommend it as a new seller, but for me, as you continue to scale the business of where I'm at, if I can invest $500 and essentially lose that inventory, but then go on to make $10,000, $15,000, $25,000 with the listing, it's worth it, okay? But let's go to find the cheapest product, because this is what you want to do. You want to scroll down here to find the cheapest product sold by Amazon. Here's a pretty cheap one, $3.50. Any cheaper? Ideally, if you're doing this legitimately, you're going to find the cheapest one. Now, here's the cheapest one I found, okay? So we have a product sold for $3.50 by Amazon, okay? And it's like, great, if I buy 10 of these, that's, $35 essentially, right? And it wouldn't really kill you, right? And if you go on to make hundreds of dollars with the listing, you're gonna make a lot of money. But here's a big thing, because as you click on it, right, you wanna buy 10 units from Amazon, right? They have 12 in stock. As you go to hit the quantity bar, and it only says 5, you can't do it. You can't merge invoices together with Amazon. You have to buy 10 units because Amazon doesn't allow you to merge multiple invoices because to them it's just not legitimate. So if it says that you can only buy 5, then you cannot get ungated in this method with Amazon because you'd have to buy 2 invoices, right? So what you do is you continue to search for products that Amazon carries that allows you to buy 10 units, okay? And typically they have to be healthily in stock here. Like, look, these only have 12 in stock. So they're not going to allow you to buy 10 because it almost takes them out of stock. You got to find listings where they allow you to buy 5, 10, right? 5 plus here. For most of these listings, have 12. This one has 30 plus. Let's see what they allow us to buy. They still allow us to buy 5. So you have to keep looking for these listings to make sure you can find a listing that allows you to buy 10. And once you can do that, right? We're going to see if we can do one here. But once you do that, you have to get that invoice, right? Buy the product, go through the natural purchase process. I have a business account with Amazon because my business account has to match my actual Amazon selling account, which is my business name. But remember, it has to match your name. So if you have jayslarosa on your Amazon buying account, it has to be jayslarosa on your Amazon selling account, okay? Now, as you go to buy the product, right? Once you get the invoice, all good, you go to send it into Amazon to show them, hey, look, I bought the product, it's authentic. If you get denied, what you have to do is resubmit the invoice 1, 2, 3, 4, as many times as you can because there's no fault for getting denied. But if you do get denied, you have to try to highlight the name of the brand, highlight the total quantity you bought, whatever it may be. Call Amazon, chat with Amazon, be relentless to try to get them to approve of it, right? Because there's no harm, no foul. Okay. Even better, here's a $2 product. Let's hope we can buy 10. They're only restricting us to 5, okay? On a business account, they allow you to buy as many as you want. So I could buy 20, 30, 40, 50. So this wouldn't be a problem if you have a business account. If you have an LLC set up, you can buy as many as you want with Amazon. You can buy 100, 200, whatever it may be, okay? But for a regular account, an individual account, they're only allowing me as a customer to buy 5, right? But essentially, this is the entire process. I think you get the understanding and the point, right? You literally just go to Amazon, you buy from Amazon as the distributor and say, look, I bought from an authentic distributor. It's you, and I'm submitting my invoice with your name on it. You have your contact information on it, and here's me. Now, one important thing to note here when you're getting ungated, if on the ungating requirement, when you go to hit manually ungate here, remember where you go here and it says manually ungate. If you go there, there might be a second tab that Amazon has added. It's like kind of recent, where they require more units if you're purchasing from Amazon as a supplier because they know it's guaranteed. They know you're going to get approved, right? That's why they added that in there. So they might say, hey, buy 10 units, but if you're buying from Amazon, buy 50 units, right? Because they know you're going to get ungated and you're going to be sent through, okay? So there it is with ungating. There is no other method for you to try, trick with, right? And so on. Because if you are running into where you can only buy 5 units, chances are you probably cannot get ungated in this brand, okay? It's going to give you a lot of fight, a lot of effort, and there's no point to continue to pursue it. There's 1.3 billion listings on Amazon. I promise you there's many other brands and products that you can sell. But, if you have to create a business account, if your business account, if you have one for your Amazon selling account, you have to match anyway. So you have to have a business account and you won't have any problem buying quantity limits. But ungating on Amazon is the only and the correct method that I've ever used, and I've never had problems, never had to prove an authenticity from a supplier, an invoice, whatever. That is all craziness that drives you nuts here on Amazon. So this is the best way to do it with getting ungated on Amazon, and you don't have to stress about it. But again, in a short summary, the most important thing to take away from this is the best way to get ungated on Amazon outside of this A to A method, as they call it, Amazon, is just getting sales on stuff you're ungated already in. Auto ungated products, get sales, and then show to Amazon that you're a proven seller and you want to continue to sell in the marketplace, and they will automatically start to open up categories and brands for you magically, right? That's literally how it happens. So that's the best way to do it, the best advice, because people drive themselves nuts trying to get ungated and they waste time and money for no reason. So there we go. There's the ungating video. Let me know what you guys think and any troubles you guys are having in the comments. I'm happy to help on a day-to-day basis. There we go, and see you guys for now.